Welcome everyone. Glad to have you with me today. Let's see, we're going to finish up today on this snippet roll base that we embellished, and then we cut into 6 pieces to make 6 different gift items. In this case, the gift items are pendants. We can pin them. We can put chains through them to make necklaces out of them. So it's a textile brooch or pin type thing. I put little safety pins in here right now because I don't have any decorative pins at the moment. But if you have a decorative pin, you could certainly use that too to pin it with. But these I finished in the last video and showed them to you. So we're going to put these away. And that's half of the 6. That's 3 of the 6. Now I did complete 2 more. This one. Don't you just love that? That is really pretty. I'm going to bring you up some so you can see this better. There you go. Make a very festive fall and winter pendant, wouldn't it? Isn't that pretty? Okay. And then that's 4 out of the 6. And let's see, and here's the next one that I finished. Let's see, I believe that's one I had finished. No, that one I did on the first video, excuse me, because we had our little owl friend there. This is the other one that I finished. Okay, I really like that one too. Got some really nice colors going in there together. Okay, so we have one of the cuts off that snippet roll left. This is what it, looks like right now. So let's see. I pulled some items that I thought kind of colorized, went in there, and a little pink yarn. And then I found this little embellishment that I don't know where it came from or how long I've had it, but I thought, wouldn't that be pretty on there if I can figure out how to work that? So these 3 things for sure I want to go on there. So probably, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to use this to kind of cover the stem area here. So I'm going to use that kind of on the bottom. But I want to play in a little bit more of the pink and these fibers here. Let's see how I might use them. That would be too much then if I pulled that down in there. I need to bring some pink to the top. What if I just put it under? Okay. And then lay this up there. Okay. Now remember, I have to sew around this, so I'm going to pull these in a little bit more, and I'm going to have to cut off just a little of this stem at the bottom. That gives me room to sew around, and my machine will sew over that little bit right there, but I'm going to take just a little bit more off. And let's see again, let's position it. I think that's going to work right there. So let's begin by sewing down the pink yarn. You'll be so happy to know that I threaded my needle all right. You don't have to watch me suffer through that this morning, at least this time. Let's just couch this a little bit, catch these threads. I want to leave them a little bit loose at the ends. Okay. I hope that you had a nice weekend and some could spend some good family time with your family, since being the holidays here in the U.S., Thanksgiving, a lot of people had time off from work, and so gave them an opportunity to be with their family, which is always a good thing. Spend some good family time together. Let's see. It's been kind of chilly here lately. It was down about 30 degrees last night, which, you know, is cold for Northeast Texas, and but it's going to warm up this next week. That's one thing about our weather here. It changes rapidly from day to day. We have winter one day and summer the next, so you don't get bored. You never know what's going to be happening. But you do have to have a collection of clothes, because you're just switching back and forth. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you back to normal. That gives me a bigger work area, and sometimes I can tend to get out of the view of the camera. Okay, let's see now. We've got that couched enough. Let's put this in there. I believe I can run this little end part down into this. Kind of hide those under this lacy part here. Well, I thought it was going to be easy, but it's not. Okay, there we go. Okay, now if we put it right about there, we've got sewing room all around for my machine. So let's get him couched in place. Okay. We're up here, so we'll start at the top. These little piece, I believe I got in the bridal area at Hobby Lobby last year. And sometimes when they put on good sale, I like to go to that bridal section, because they have a lot of pretty tulle colors I get there. And sometimes embellishments like this, they become price acceptable when they've got them on sale. And they go a long way. I mean, this was part of a bigger piece. And so when you break it apart and use them, go a long way for the money when they're on sale. So if you never thought about that before, you might check the bridal section of your craft stores and for embellishments. Let's move it over a little bit. Can't go wrong with gold and pearls. Just about any outfit you put on, this will look good on it. Have you been enjoying this little series on making gifts from the snippet roll that we made earlier? I hope so, because I do plan for this whole next year to make several videos in the turning our fabric scraps into gift items, different things that we can make gift items out of. Some of our slow stitch projects, like the snippet roll that we slow stitched. It's always nice to always have something practical in mind in case you want to use your items that way. I turn most of my slow stitch products into wall art or gifts, and they also embellish pillows, sweatshirts, things like that. I have something in mind when I start a project, some way that I could use it in a practical way, if I choose to. Some items can, I can use them, either put them on a bag or a pillow or a shirt, or I can just use it as wall art, and that's nice. But whatever you do, make sure you use the items that you make some way. Don't just stick them in a drawer or on a closet shelf, and because you spend a lot of time and love making these things, and you want to be able to enjoy them some way. And you can always gift them. Another thing I noticed was that I have a friend that's in a assisted living facility, and it has also kind of like a it's kind of like an Alzheimer's unit, where the clients, they are pretty much what you call under lockdown because of the possibility that they may not remember where they're at, and they may just walk off. So they have to pretty much stay in this one area. And so she frames some of her pieces and takes there, and they hang them in that area, and it's just a little bit of art and things that they can enjoy in their common room. And I thought that was really a nice idea too. Okay, that's looking good, isn't it? I like that. So let's finish off and cover this little piece here. I'm thinking that if I twist that like that, that would make a good blend all the way to the bottom, and also serve as covering that raw edge. So let's play with that. Isn't it amazing what a little piece of torn and frayed fabric can do? Just look how pretty that looks. If you remember, we made this snippet roll out of textile crumbs, meaning that they were just lots of very small pieces of all kinds of fabrics, laces, embellishments, ribbons, just all kinds of stuff with textile base. And it means that you can use anything. You don't have to throw anything away. Save all your bits and pieces. Well, I keep catching that over the corner. Do you have that problem? I would love to get your comments on if you're enjoying these videos that I'm making. I am working very hard to grow my YouTube channel, so if you've enjoyed what I do, please leave a comment and think about subscribing. You know, it's hard it's hard to find anything really new when it comes to junk journaling and slow stitching. But it's fun to see how different people do the same thing. Lots of people make snippet rolls, but not every one of them is made just a tiny bit different. And so it's enjoyable to get on YouTube and watch the different artists and craftsmen and see how they do the different things. And I hope I can bring a little bit of diversity to the craft also, and give you inspiration and ideas that for your use of junk journaling items and slow stitching and other sewing type things too as I go along. This is kind of a mixed media slow stitch problem when you start adding in jewelry pieces and things like that, or you start dyeing or painting fabrics and things like that. You get into a lot of different mixed media. I like that because it diversifies it even more, and we all like the different things. So I think that looks really good. I'm going to call that one done, and we are going to put the backing on it. Well, let's see. I'm going to pull this one up here. Okay, I've backed all of these in this black fabric because I really like the way that it fringes out. It just finishes the piece off. Okay, because I like to leave the edges raw. That just gives me a little bit more edge to work with. Let's see what we need here. Going to even up this side just a little. Doesn't have to be perfect or exact. Put it a little closer to the top because, as you can see, all of mine are made the same. They're a little shorter up here because I'm going to put the pendant chain holder up here, and I leave it a little longer on the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to put some stitches in this to hold this to the background. I am going to machine sew it, but what this does is it keeps it in place for me, because I do want that to be straight, because I need to put a backing on it to cover all the stitching. And so I like to be able to make sure that I get everything straight. The backing is just a fabric backing, but that fabric backing is on paper, so that makes it stronger and gives substance to that piece, adding a little weight, which makes it hang better also. Get a little woppy doodle here. Let's turn it. Okay. Remember, if you get woppy doodled, you just do a doodle woppy to get it back in shape. Woppy doodle doodle woppies. That was my mother's term for a woppy doodle. Was something that wasn't straight, not quite right. She'd always say, well, just you got a woppy doodle, just do a doodle woppy and put it back where it needs to be. And so sometimes mistakes that we make can turn out to be creative ideas. If you have a particular item that you would like for me to try to design or create for the YouTube videos here, please put that in a comment, and if I can, I certainly will do that. I just used the thread that was on my needle, which is the same as the background fabric for this, so the stitching doesn't really show that much. Contrasting threads are nice. They do show up. Okay, I'm gonna call that done because I'm going to sew it. I'm gonna run this through the back, and that's going to be caught when I sew it in. Okay, let me just go over to the sewing machine for a minute, put the backing on. If you'll hold on just a minute, I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you for your patience. All right, we've got some threads to get off here. And we're going to save these threads that I pull off in my thread bucket because I will use them in other projects. Remember, don't throw anything away. This is crummy things too that can be used in embellishments. If you get one that's caught, just trim it. You don't have to save that one. Okay, got to trim off the back part here. I sewed on. All right. After you fringe, if any of your fringe sides or bottom you feel are too long, you can always trim off your fringe. It's just not rocket science. You just do what you want to do here. That one's caught, so we're going to take it in. What I do is I trim it at the same length as my fringe is. As you can see, this is all kinds of threads, but I use them, believe me. They will all get used up, and because they make, where I put this piece right here, threads, just a bunch of threads sewn down there, does the same thing, and it looks very nice, very textile, very textured. And so threads are good for that. Okay, now we might twist. Since they're sewed down now, we can pull them out just a little bit. Yes, give it some. There we go. What do you think? I think it's beautiful. Let's look at them all together again. Let me clean up my area a little bit. The 6 gifts that we got out of that one snippet roll. We got 6 pendants that all are similar yet different, depending on how you embellished each one at the finish. The little loop here is just a piece of ribbon, and I just folded it over, sewed it in. It makes a nice catch, as you can see, for a pin, or you can run a necklace through it, as I showed in an earlier video. Your color variations, we have this mauve lace on the snippet, and that just really gave us a base for some color in 3 of them. We had a lot of golden brown in this one, so we kind of kept it in the woodsy area. This one we had some different color, so we grabbed some fabric and tied that in. Also used a fabric bead and some little stamen pieces here to keep that. Here is just some little fabric pieces, some yarn pieces that are just folded over and couched on for some interest there. And here we used a already made embellishment with pearls and gold and tied in a little of the pink. So we have quite a combination here. The silver, the gold, the pink, this blue-green, the mauve, lots of browns. So lots of pretty colors. And I would just be pleased to wear any of these with any outfit that they matched. And I know that the people who receive this as gifts will enjoy it too. Now, I have already a box of gifts made, so I'm probably going to put these in my Etsy shop. But if you don't have gifts already made, and this is something that interests you, if you have females on your gift list that you know coming up this next year, you've got to have something for, well, here you go, something to do. I thank you so much for being with me for this little series here on this snippet roll, turning it into gifts. And we'll see what I can cook up for the next Scraps to Gifts little series. And so come back for that. Please tell your friends about my channel and help me grow it if you don't mind. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.